Ecstatic fans, rattled rivals, and a sudden shockwave across showbiz. Tonight, the spotlight burns white-hot on Cenk Torun, and the world can't look away. You're tuned in to Whispers of Turkish Stars, where we bring you the most heart-racing stories from the glittering front lines of fame. Before we dive into the fireworks, hit subscribe and keep those notifications on, because what you're about to hear is the kind of drama that turns careers into legends and whispers into headlines. This is the night Cenk Torun rewrote the rules, while Mahasine Marabet stood right beside him, calm, radiant, and quietly steering the storm with a smile that said, "We knew it all along." The news broke like thunder. Cenk Torun entered IMDb's top 500 talents, and not just as a name among many, he surged to number 117, placing him jaw-droppingly high among international heavyweights. At first, a hush fell across social media as everyone blinked at the ranking, the kind of silence that comes just before a roar. Then the flood began. Messages in Turkish, Italian, French, Spanish, and English rolled in, fans posting their pride, their tears, their long-held belief that Cenk was destined to go global. But the story didn't stop at applause. It spiraled outward, pulling in whispers of Hollywood, speculation about lightning-fast offers, and the electricity of a fanbase that decided, in one unified heartbeat, that this was their moment too. If you followed Cenk Torun for years, you know he isn't just talent, he's intention. He's the man who took nostalgia and carved from it something fresh and refined. He didn't sprint after every trend, he chose, curated, sharpened. When Europe started to reopen its arms to Turkish storytelling, he was there, but on his own terms, smoothing away the old and embracing the new. He built bridges to Italy and Spain, pressed hands with France, and let his work whisper for him in the language that never lies, performance. And in the quiet moments, when the cameras paused and the crew caught their breath, Mahasine Marabet was there, an artist in her own right. Steadying the sails as the winds shifted, turning simple days into preparation for an evening like this. Across industry circles, one topic buzzed louder than a 20-piece lighting rig: Hollywood. Not the distant fantasy of red carpets longed for and never reached, but the real hum of calls placed, emails exchanged, meetings requested. Word spread that, following his IMDb surge, Cenk had been invited to a confidential sit-down that could open the gates to something massive. A cameo with a major studio? A leading role in a streaming giant's historical epic? The details were guarded, but the mood was unmistakable. This wasn't a question of if, it was a question of how far and how fast. And there, in a sunlight wash from a cafe window in Rome, Mahasine leaned close as Cenk skimmed a proposal and whispered, "You've worked for this. Now let them see you." What's sending fans into overdrive is how precisely this moment mirrors all the chatter that's been simmering for months, the Sandokan rumors and the whispers around the Turk. The idea of Cenk stepping into the legend of the Tiger of Malaysia lit up 1,000 threads. Could he carry the mantle with the weight and elegance that the iconic Kabir Bedi made immortal? Skeptics were primed to pounce. But then came the first private screenings, the hush of studio corridors after a combat sequence laid out like a ballet, the approval of costume designers who know how power moves through fabric and posture and gaze. If you know Cenk's discipline, you know how he prepares, a relentless study of movement, intention, rhythm. By the time the early cuts filtered into the right hands, the skepticism had evaporated, replaced by a new question that thrilled even the most jaded insiders. Could this be the performance that breaks the last invisible barrier between European stardom and Hollywood inevitability? Still, glory never arrives alone. The envy set in like a cold draft on a warm set. You could almost hear the murmurs behind closed doors, "Couldn't it have been me?" Some peers sent warm congratulations in public, but the private messages told a different story: cool, perfunctory, clipped down to the bone. On one set, a minor flare of temper was spun into a storm by gossip pages hungry for chaos. Did Cenk really argue with a rival in a quiet corner? Was it petty jealousy or creative friction? Whatever the truth, those who were there said the moment ended the way all such moments should, with the work winning. Lines perfected. Marks hit. A scene that crackled so fiercely, even the extras forgot to blink. Then came the thing no one could ignore: social media melted. Overnight, fan accounts that have followed Cenk since the earliest days turned into miniature newsrooms, tracking every development, translating every Italian trade whisper, every American blogline, every French podcast nod. Someone compiled a 12-minute tribute, stitching together scenes of Cenk's transformations across the years, spliced with candid glimpses of Mahasin laughing with him on a sunlit balcony, a plate of pastries between them, the camera catching the easy comfort of partners who can balance each other's storms. In the caption, a line pulsed like a vow: "He was ours first, but now he's the world's, and we are ready to share." The press smelled a runaway moment and moved to the chase. Headlines multiplied with ferocity: Cenk Torun winks at Hollywood, European heartthrob levels up, rivals burn with jealousy. Journalists who'd once summed him up in a sentence now had to grapple with the fuller picture: a deliberate artist with a plan, a partner with grit and grace, a fanbase that operates like an army but loves like a family. Even critics who had long ago decided who he was were suddenly forced to reconsider. Because while everyone enjoys a nostalgic memory, few can evolve it. Fewer still can turn it into a passport stamped on every continent. Inside the industry, the praise sounded different. A veteran director who had seen Cenk in a fight sequence for the Turk called his timing surgical. A cinematographer said that when he steps into a frame, the light behaves as if it has been waiting for him. And a co-star, known for never handing out compliments, told a friend, he holds the silence between lines like a secret, and then breaks it with a blade. It wasn't just the action that dazzled, it was the soul beneath it, the thread of restraint and intensity braided all the way through. And on a rainy evening shoot, Mahasin appeared at the edge of the set, an umbrella tilted in one hand and a thermos in the other, quietly lending warmth to a crew working past midnight. Little moments like that move through a team like a blessing, and no one forgets them. Not everyone clapped. Some actors, those who have long stood in parallel lanes, felt the ground shift and didn't like the tilt. The rumor mill turned faster. A rival had tried to lock the same European director for an upcoming project, a producer had hesitated between two names before Cenk's ranking tipped the scale, an interview was cut short when the host wouldn't stop asking about him. Cards were reshuffled, phone calls rerouted, and the usual professional courtesies grew colder. But there's a curious truth about success: it exposes what was always there. For the ones with genuine goodwill, this was a celebration. For the others, it was a mirror they didn't want to face. As the dust settled, the next wave hit. Word of a secret Hollywood script arrived in Istanbul tucked inside a quiet courier pouch. The role? An enigmatic mentor in a historical saga, the kind of character who enters the narrative like a soft storm and leaves it forever altered. The twist? Early notes suggested a potential cameo for Mahasin, a role designed to flash like lightning across the screen and leave the audience wanting more. The idea of them sharing a project, even briefly, sent the fandom into a new orbit. You could feel the electricity in the comments. Power couple. Finally. Give it to us already. In all this, what remains constant is the bedrock of the story. Cenk Torun made the IMDb Top 500 Talents list and landed at 117, a ranking that functions not only as a number but as a new narrative, a narrative that pulls him from beloved veteran to global contender. And though numbers rise and fall, moments like this carve their way into permanence. Fans know it. They feel it in the pit of the stomach where faith and memory join hands. They answered with everything they had. Some posted their favorite lines from his roles, others shared photos from years-long meet and greets, eyes shining with the glow of first encounters. A few organized synchronized viewing nights, pressing play across different time zones to celebrate a collective past and a bright new promise. Meanwhile, Mahasin's voice threaded through the noise with composure and sweetness. She didn't make it about herself. She made it about the work, the journey, the nights when ambition aches and the mornings when it finally pays off. In a story she shared, the camera lingered on a modest cake, a candle, a small circle of close friends, and Cenk's grin that belongs to a man who knows the mountain and has learned to love the climb. No blaring music, no staged spectacle, just the hum of genuine pride. It told the world everything without saying too much. From Europe to the world. That's the line the trades keep using, and for once it feels not only accurate but inevitable. The Sandokan buzz grows louder with every whisper, and the specter of Kabir Bedi's legacy, once a dare, now reads like a welcoming handshake. The Turk builds gravity shoot by shoot, a world where steel and silk, smoke and sun, chase and collide. And through it all, Cenk holds the center, his presence the compass, his focus the anchor. This is what happens when a career isn't just a collection of roles but a map, each point leading gracefully to the next. Inside private group chats, executives wonder how to catch the wave and ride it. A European streamer wants an exclusive interview. An American podcast requests a sit-down with both Cenk and Mahaseen, pitching a special episode on navigating fame as a couple. A fashion house sends sketches for a campaign that whispers old-world glamour shot through with modern steel. If green lights are prayers in this industry, then tonight the sky is full of them. Of course, the love story inside the story is what seals it, the part that fans replay before bed or whisper to themselves on the commute. They want to believe in talent and timing, but they also want to believe in partnership. The kind that steadies a hand right before the big scene, that wraps a scarf around a neck in the drafty hallway, that remembers the dates and the coffee orders and the ways to quiet a restless mind. They see that in Cenk and Mahaseen. They see it in the way his eyes search for hers in crowded rooms, and in the way she offers the smallest nod, the softest yes, the kind only two people can hear. So here we are, standing in that rare window where everything seems possible and nothing feels certain except one thing: momentum. IMDb doesn't grant destiny, but it does announce a tide. And this one is pulling hard toward the open ocean. Whether it's a storm of Sandokan adventure, the rich tapestry of the Turk, or a Hollywood project that rearranges the calendar, the horizon looks lit. And if rivals are pacing the halls tonight, chewing on what-ifs, the fans are singing, as if on cue, in a chorus that rises across countries and cities and living rooms, "He's earned this, and we are here to watch the next chapter written in real time." Tell me, do you feel it too? Do you think Cenk Torun will make the leap and plant his flag in Hollywood for good? Do you believe Sandokan and the Turk will become the pillars that lift his prestige to new heights? And how ready are you to see him share a frame with Mahaseen Marabet under the brightest lights in the world? Drop your thoughts below. Your voice is the heartbeat of this channel, and tonight it's pounding. If this story swept you up, don't leave without showing some love. Like this video, subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a beat. We'll bring you every whisper, every hint, every backstage glance as this tale keeps unfolding. From Istanbul to Rome to Los Angeles, from studio sets to red carpets, from quiet rehearsals to thunderous premieres, the journey is live, and the stakes are blazing. Keep watching, keep believing, and keep it here, because the next time Cenk Torun's name flies across your feed, it might just be attached to the role that stamps him, once and for all, as a global star. And when that happens, you'll be able to say you were here, from the first rumble to the roar, listening closely with us at Whispers of Turkish Stars.